Yeah, I'm about to give you a little Call of Duty action while I talk about this topic. Won't be before you long, but I wanted to talk about this conversation in regards to the neighborhood. I forgot it was I forgot his name, but he did a video titled "I'm gonna buy your grandmother's house for pennies on the dollar because you can't afford to pay the taxes," and that something like that resonated with me because I saw what I thought I saw was that happened in my family with a relative who ended up letting her grandmother's house, my great aunt, go to the Arabs, and it's gone. But another thing that happened that I was thinking about is I got another relative that he graduated into law school, but that was not the plan. That was plan B, but it turned out to be a better plan. He was an athlete, good, talented, got hurt really bad, and to the point where he couldn't play again. Then he switched up, was trying to do the NFL route as far as being in the office and manager and all that, a GM. That didn't work out, so I guess somehow he ended up in law school. And flash forward, he's a successful lawyer and making decent money doing all that. But when he comes home, you'll see the public humble beginnings, posts, or conversations, and I know where I started from. Come from a big family, 7 brothers and sisters, and even though his parents both work for one of the big 3, it's still you got 7 kids that ain't you still poor, even though your parents make good money. But he does that, but then on a back end, it's just this weird elitism, this weird disgust of where he grew up at as far as the people, and saying there's nobody here don't want to make no money, nobody want to do anything, kind of some SWP type thoughts. But the difference is he came from that environment, so it's not he's speaking on it from not knowing, he knows it. But anyways, he was talking about that and just discuss, and they not hearing there's no money, this and that, and I'm thinking wait a minute, because I've been on the road the last almost 2.5 years, back and forth, and then before that it was the pandemic, so it was it wasn't really out and about. When the city has changed a lot is different, as far as businesses and stores and neighborhoods, and I just be driving around and seeing they remodeled their whole house. I haven't drove down that street in a long time, but that pissed me off. I was pushing with those guys and they freaking stopped shooting at the guy that I was shooting with. Whatever. I'm not a rusher, but when I do, I expect you to be there with me. But anyways, and it had me thinking about what the guy said in that other video about him buying the parents' house. But then I'm I was driving maybe 3-4 years, no, about 4 years ago. I was driving with one of my managers delivering something, and he was saying the same thing. How we grew up, and it's it started off with the Arabic stores, and they owned all that in our so-called communities. We don't have any communities. Our neighborhoods look like the United Nations. So we don't have any representation. We don't even have a flag. But anyways, it was they own all the corner stores. That's how it started when we were kids. Then it was okay, and wait a minute. Now it's the phone shops, the Crickets and the Boost Mobiles, and all right, so they're doing all that now. And then I'm wait a minute. So now at that time with him, it was okay, now they got all the black owned car shops, mechanics. Ain't no black mechanics in the hood, depending on where you live at. Okay, obviously this is subjective based on where you live, and the group of people who buy up your community is different based on the part of the country you live in. For me, in Western New York, it's the Arabs. In some parts, it's the Indians, because they took over. The Indians pretty much took over one really bad part of the town in the hood. I went to Walmart that I don't usually go to, and I was shopping in there, and I felt like I was in Canada, because you go to Canada, you go to Niagara Falls Boulevard Mall, it's a bunch of foreigners that come from Canada to go shopping because they stuff costs too much because they taxes too damn high, and they put 10 layers of clothes on to take it back because they don't want to declare it. But that's how I looked at Walmart. So I'm these people ain't come across the border to go to Walmart, but it's just no, they pretty much took over that side of town. But so I'm saying the point of that was saying different parts of the country is a different group. Insert any group, but nonetheless, the conversation, the point is the same. Is that other groups are in the hood where there's apparently no money and everybody poor and there's nothing going on. They're starting businesses, they're buying up everything, they're buying houses, and they're doing stuff. And it's just weird driving around and seeing that. It's wait a minute. So again, it was, remember, a lot of people complained about growing up when I was oh, the Arabs, they get the 7-year deal with no taxes, and then they shut the business down, they reopen it, and they give it to their cousin, and this and that, and boom, boom, boom. Okay, you know what those are called? Those are called opportunity zones. We shit on them, right? When Republicans, that's one of the things they do offer. of anything, but we shit on like that don't mean nothing, they don't do anything, and that's exactly what that is. I remember when on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne was arguing with Angela Stanton King, and they were just trying to even they both shitted on that policy because because that was something she was bringing up that Trump did or Tim Scott did too. And I'm like, wait a minute, Charlamagne's up here being combative. That's one of the other videos they took an L with, debating, not just the other fools, but they took one with her. And she's not the brightest bulb in the bunch either, but so whatever. 3 against 1, and she still came out victorious. But one of the points that I wanted to make when I didn't do that video years ago was that, like, I know Charlamagne knows about opportunity zones because he has them in Carolina. That's when he was shaking hands and hanging out with Tim Scott. It was because he was setting some stuff up like that. Whatever, but now those things can't be exploited. That's obvious. Like, that's not a... a lot of those policies and all that stuff, black people don't even get or benefit from because they're not in a position to take advantage of it. And then there's a lot of people who do sell out and they do get rid of those things. If you recall on the TV show Billions, there was an episode specifically where Damon Young, Fubu, Axe Capital wanted him to do that, and he came on the show just for like 2 minutes scene just to say, nah, I'm not doing that for my people. I'm not about to like be the face of something so that you, a billionaire, could really make more money off of it and exploit the black community. If you remember the TV show Power, same thing happened with Ghost and the white dude who came in and tried to use Ghost's face and wanted him to be a part of something, but he wasn't going to give him any of the money from it. But then Lorenzo Tate's character, who was a councilman, gave him, told him like, nah, dog, this is how you do it. And he pretty much finessed it to where that Ghost got part of the money too, and not just getting played. Like, he got a part of the policy. But like, that happens. You get people that want to partner up with a decent or somewhat successful person that's black and take advantage of those things. But I'm saying I acknowledge that there is corruption, there is stuff in it, but it's the game, baby. It is what it is. But my point was to say that those, like, we act like those things don't matter and those things don't help, but other groups are utilizing those very same things, and we over here championing BIPOC and this and that, and people of color and all that bullshit. Meanwhile, we not taking advantage of any of that stuff really, and they are, and they're usually buying your neighborhoods and your communities. So I'm just like, the whole Yvette Cornell, Antonio Moore argument of black people ain't got no money and they broke and this and that, and they no money in the hood. It's hard to see when I see every other group, like stuff that been vacant my entire life, stuff that hasn't been open, being opened by Arabs. They got like black folks cooking dinners out their house. We had one restaurant that couldn't stay open. My family's a part of another one, but like inconsistency, not staying open, not having the best food, whatever. Like, but it's like when I was a kid, the Arabs didn't have no grocery stores. They got their own holla holla. They got their own sit down, like actual takeout places where they serve Mediterranean food or Arab food. They own in the city. There's a butcher shop. Well, first of all, it's a regular store with all their Muslim stuff in it, and then you can order food. After that, the rice over the chicken over coal and the rice and all that, you can order all that, and then you can go in the back and actually go get you a chicken or a goat or a lamb. Like that's in the hood. Like, we've never had nothing like that. In fact, we protested that when I was coming because all the typical is going to stink and this and that, and none of the stuff that we said was going to be a problem was a problem. But they have that in the hood. You can literally go. I can go around the corner right now and go get a fresh chicken, and have them cut it and pluck it, and I take it home that same day. Again, we act like there's no money, there's no resources. I want him in this segment right here. There's nothing going on, but every other group is doing it, yo. It's just crazy how that mindset of, it's poor here, it's ghetto here, is no ambition here. I'm going to go to another community and be a part of something else. But other groups, they're not doing that. And they parents work for some of the big three too. Their parents, but they didn't have they weren't lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. All these Arab kids be driving freaking not Lexus, but they be driving big ass trucks, Tahoes, and a lot of them like Range Rover and stuff like that. Like, they be going to prom with Ferraris and stuff like that. Like, they have regular middle class lives, but it is what it is. They stick together, they work together, and they get shit done. And the result is in the pudding. They're doing that in our neighborhoods. They've made it their own. And that's the only way. I think Brian Hope was on the Breakfast Club. I ain't agree with none of his political stuff, but he made the point that Sometimes you have to buy that house in the hood and just redo it. There's several times, like the city of Niagara Falls, very ghetto, very trash as far as poor, but it's a lot of vacant houses, big ass houses. Like it's crazy how big the houses are there. They're too close together for my taste, but they got big ass houses there. And I'm like, well, why can't a bunch of black nurses and doctors and just even blue collar? It ain't even got to be the professional class. Just a bunch of blue collar people go in there and they buy up some properties and they all move in there, and some law enforcement, some firefighters, all that, and you just take it over. Like, that's what simply has to happen. You build that tax base. Right now we got people complaining about the people in Baton Rouge or no, in New Orleans, that just a white town that said, no, we don't want to be a part of this district no more, and they leaving and they gone, and some of us complaining about it. Now I do understand them taking money with them. Like, they shouldn't be able to take tax-based dollars and stuff to go build this new community. They should be able to just go and start all over, but they're taking resources too that other communities help contribute to build. But if the it's a problem, because if the school district is already trash and the money's already not good there, and I mean the economy's not good there, what do you think 100,000 affluent people leaving that base is going to be? How shitty are the schools going to be now, when those people who had all the wealth are really gone? Like, that's crazy. But it's just that simple. People could just pick up and move a whole town and say, I don't want to be a part of this other community anymore, I want to do my own thing. People can come in and see a dilapidated community or whatever, and they can come in and be like, no, we're going to do this, do that. We're going to buy a house and live in it together. We're going to buy one house, buy two houses, rent this house out. It's a process. But I don't think we get it. Because, again, it is mind-boggling the amount of, specifically the Arabs. I know different parts of my city is like I said, on the east side of Buffalo. I know it's that was stupid. I couldn't even shoot to the damn crane. It's like the Indians are over there doing it, and where I'm more so at is it's Arabs and Muslims. Got smoke shops. They got the gas stations. They have the barbershops now. That's the thing that got me. The barbershops. I go into the barbershop right in my community, and I barely do that. I usually come out here and I just need my beard trimmed up sometimes. But I go in there, it's like a mixed one. It's like blacks, Puerto Ricans, whites, whatever, Arabics in it. And they did tell me they were moving to a new location, but I forgot about that. So I go in there, and there's a new situation going on. It's all Arabs in it. I'm like, whoa. Like, all the barbers are Arabs now. So I'm like this is in the black community. It's on a better other side, but still, it's still technically the hood. The black barbershop in the hood, the owner of that was a firefighter. He couldn't keep it open. It was always shutting down. It wasn't open during the week. Like, just dumb shit like that. The same thing with the restaurants. I mean, some people, like, there's a restaurant I go to where I work at, and they're only open half the week too, and that sucks. But I'm just saying, like, stuff like that, you can't be inconsistent like that. You have to be consistent. You have to invest in your business, and you have to have help and partners. It ain't always about, obviously, you can't one-man army these things. You have to have a group of people coming together, put a pool in, and do the things. And it should be family, but obviously it doesn't always work that way with family. It is what it is. But I'm literally watching in front of my eyes the community just completely get. You can't even call it gentrified, because they were already here. They already lived here. They're already part of the community. It's not like the same people who are buying the business, they lived here, they grew up here. It's just they're investing back into it, where we abandon it and we complain about it. And that shit is just mind-boggling to me. That, wait a minute, so they could do it. It could be done, but we're not doing it. It's easy to just point and look at it like it's a poverty mindset and nobody want to make money here, nobody want to do nothing. But that's not true. Not to be on my soapbox, but did we replace all the liquor stores with smoke shops? That's crazy, because every corner got one of them, hookah. And again, being full, like, obviously with the tax stuff is corruption. Even a lot of these Arab businesses, they've been knocked and busted for funneling money to terrorists. I'm being serious. Some of them, like I grew up near those 6 guys that was in Guantanamo Bay. They were in my neighborhood. Some of it is like drug money. Like, some of the warehouses in the city of Buffalo have been raided that they own have been drug stops. So I'm saying there's also a criminal element too, but they're even getting able to capitalize off that. I'll put it this way: a dude I went to high school with, he was Palestinian. he had never had a 9 to 5. I don't think he always worked for his parents' store. His oldest brother got knocked for like the record amount of ecstasy ever caught transporting it. His second brother was a coke dealer, and I would go visit him and go to the store and stop by and see what's good with him, whatever. And you can obviously see that stuff is going on shady, so I stopped going over there. But eventually, he got knocked in his parents' store, and his brother got jail time. He's escaped jail time because it's like he didn't know. He had to pay a lot of money and lawyers and all that stuff, but he basically got away with it, even though he knew what was going on in the store too. But he ended up like leaving the store business. Then he went to Niagara Falls and bought him a cricket store. So it's like he left one business to go to another one. Like, but his whole family did a lot of stuff out of that store. His brothers and stuff like that. The parents weren't oblivious. They knew the fudge was going on, but like he's never had a 9 to 5. And he's always worked for himself, always had his own money. And it's like, damn, that's in the hood, that's in the black community that went on. So it's like, what's the issue with us? What is our problem? The stuff that Keith Lee saying, it ain't all wrong with the businesses, the stuff with the food and all that. Like, it be like that. The favoritism and making it more, being more with the look of things than the quality of food and the service. Service is everything. Like, good service and good food go hand in hand. I don't know, maybe that's something we need to work on. But what are your thoughts? How does that look in your city? Because I know this is not for everybody. There's a bunch of countries where ain't no black folks in it, so it is what it is. But I know, because like in California a few years ago, it was about like the CNA, which is something black women predominantly did, like the home care stuff. How like, I don't know what they weren't Chinese, but one of those different groups, they came in and were taking over that market. Or how some of them are taking over nursing in certain places of the country. Like, every other group is taking advantage of stuff that we claim isn't there and don't exist, or they making do with it. And I just don't understand, like, the whole permanent underclass thing that Dr. Claude Anderson come and talked about for the last 20 years. It's like, well, he's been talking about it for longer than that, but I see it. There's never going to be any generational wealth without businesses and owning communities. It's just not going to happen. There's never going to be better school districts without, having the proper tax base to support the type of schools you want. I don't know. The writing's on the wall. Like, I don't see a solution to this. I don't see it getting better. Especially with the social media age and the mentality with relationships and dating and all that other stuff. Like, I just don't see it. And when we do get a little bit of money and do get a little decent career, we do typically want to leave and go somewhere else. Again, I remember my stepfather had a house. It was on the bad side of town, which I'll acknowledge that. But a bunch of single women, he was like trying to give it to him, like, yo, at the church, like, here, take this house. None of them wanted it. They didn't want the responsibility. They didn't like the neighborhood. But I'm like, all right, it's the whole house. You ain't got to pay for. All you got to do is pay your regular stuff and then taxes. Like, that's a gift. But that's when, okay, is other abandoned streets, houses on the street. You get people that's going to be there, and you watch out for the, because those environments are crazy. You need people to be looking out for the houses and watching stuff and make sure everything is good. But still, it's like, it has to start somewhere. Like, it has to. We complain about, the weird hippies and the gays when they come in the community and they start changing shit and be mad, but they're making that investment in an environment. That's the pre-gentrification. That's when the gays and the hippies and all those come in. That's when you notice shit's about to change. And you see the white girls jogging and stuff like that in the hood. That's when that's the calm before the storm. But that's when you should be like, all right, damn. That's when it's time to start investing in communities and looking out for each other. Even with the Arabs too, it's like they sell to each other too. So their businesses, it's like every business have problems, and people sell it, people move out, people sell out, but they sell it back to themselves. It'll be 4 or 5 owners. Even the pizzeria that I grew up, that was white my entire life, they done had like 4 or 5 owners since I've been back and forth on the road the last few years, and now Arabs got it. Like, just think about that. A coffee shop, hookah spot, like 3 or 4 restaurants, all the corner stores. The gas stations are iffy because I don't know if they technically own the gas stations, but they work in them, but I don't know if they own the actual gas stations. But probably if there is a legal weed dispensary, it'll be that too. And it's all in a community where I'm like, it was growing up black and Arab, like it was even. Well, we probably outnumbered them a little bit, but now it's all of them. They own every business, every corner store, every gas station, the damn auto shop, the hookah spots. Like, it's not like we don't have black people that have some type of money. It's not like we don't have the same hustlers and dope boys in the same in the community and all that. Like, they didn't do anything with their money. They didn't do no type of investing. I know the two dudes, they won a lot of money. I don't know if it was like in a settlement or something. They tried to open like a club, but the police kept messing with it and shut it down because it was like noisy and rowdy, whatever. But then it turned into like you want to have a wedding party or something like that. You rent it out. That didn't even last that long. And guess who got that now? The Arabs got that now. And I don't know what they turned it into, but now they own it. So I don't know. That's a long rant. Tell me what you think, though. What group is it in your community who's taking over your black neighborhood, aka? Because it's not. So every time Umar talk about the community and all this other stuff like that, shit does not exist. It does not. We don't even break bread with our own family and work with our own family. How are you trying to link 50 million people when we got issues, internal issues with our own family, and people don't talk to people because some valid reasons. Obviously, I'm not, it's not always, little stuff, but it is some stuff from some pain, some family drama from 20 years ago that families can't get together and work together in our community. And we talk about linking 50 million of us together to trying to work together and do stuff. It just don't make any sense to me. That's 20 minutes. I'm out.